dealt with the bureaucracy of Indonesia doing research there before. It's like you said, it's interesting, and I mean, it is the way it is. It's a difficult place, with being so many islands and so many people. It's definitely would be a difficult place to manage the paperwork and everything like that. So once you get around it and figure it out, it becomes easier. I'm sure.
Yeah, it's no different to a lot of systems around the world, It's like once you figure out the way that the system actually operates and who's in charge of what, and then it becomes simpler and simpler. Like one of the islands that we visited called Bawean Island, like out in the Javanese Sea. It took us nearly 8 hours on a passenger ferry to get out there. And we were the first international people to ever play music on the island.
That's amazing.
Ever, which was pretty sick. And we did like a presentation literally in front of pretty much the whole island, in regards to marine pollution, marine plastic. There would have been over probably 4,000 to 5,000 people there. And I think the population of the island is only nearly 10,000, 15,000 or something at the time.
Yeah.
And so that kind of impact that hopefully you can have on that once-off scenario is, hopefully one of longevity.
Positive that it would be. I mean, to leave that kind of a memory, and especially in a younger person on an island, to leave that impression on their life must be, an amazing thing for an individual. And I'm sure they would have. There's a few that are probably following in your footsteps. Have you heard any stories of people you've come across in the past that?
I still get contacted pretty much on a weekly to almost daily basis by some people that we've sort of met across Indonesia, and different groups that we've helped out. I just got sent some photos of a mangrove restoration project that we started probably 5 years ago or something. That was like one of the first tours that we did, and they're still kind of continuing that mangrove restoration process. So I get updates quite regularly, and different school kids and stuff even that we'd gone and done a presentation with, and then they've kind of remembered who we were and found me on Facebook, and through other adults that knew where we come from and how we actually got there. And some of them are running their own little projects and all sorts of stuff. The world is bigger than their backyard, and there are other people out there who believe the same kind of processes of, trying to make the world a better place, I guess. Even though you don't have a lot of money.
I think that's a huge thing, and I think it's a big hurdle people have to get over, is the fact that I'm just an individual. What can I do? I think that goes through a lot of people's mind, even myself. I would say, and but from small individual things, big things can happen. There's no doubt about that. I mean, think of corals; they are individual tiny little polyps, and they can create ecosystems. So
they can change worlds. Change giant global currents. They can, it's amazing.
And that's it's a really positive thing to hear that that people are out there doing this kind of work, and it's working. I think that's the great thing about it. And when you I remember when you first started, I remember you posting things earlier on when you were doing beach cleanups, and I remember you had some frustrating posts, I would say, of people approaching you on the beach and sort of asking you really strange questions or behaving in quite strange ways to what you were doing. And I bet we were just talking about how it's there must be frustrations that you encounter a lot.
For sure. Human stupidity never ceases to amaze. is a quote that I quite like to live by while we're doing these tours.
Yeah.
It's amazing, like especially people that have come from a more fortunate background, you could say, like where
Yeah.
education in higher aspects is pretty much at most people's grasp, like
Yeah.
if they choose it to be, like, and we go through some of the most popular beaches in Indonesia, in Bali, like,
Yeah.
and have Western tourists walking up to us telling us that we're idiots for doing what we're doing. Literally, like walking up to us, like, and abusing us for cleaning up a beach. Like,
And what's
it's
their like
not
logic and
locals, but like
yeah.
other tourists, like, just because
That's,
we're interrupting their day at the beach or making them, because they saw us picking up like 1,000 straws or something, like off this one beach, like that was impacting on their psyche while they're sitting there drinking a coconut with 3 plastic straws in it. Like,
that must be wow. I mean that I can't yeah, the rage rage must have
yeah,
been just flowing through your veins,
yeah.
but I mean
I
you keep going with it.
Yeah,
It's
I definitely kind of held back in there was a lot of biting of your tongue in these
yeah.
general situations, and you kind of had to approach it with a double-edged sword of education, as well as action. Because
Wow.
unfortunately, for those kind of people, that's just the mindset that they're in, and the only way to change that is by furthering their education
Yeah. I think I
and showing people that you can make a difference, like little by little. And I just say to them, "Yeah, I'm an idiot. Like, but by the time I'm finished here within an hour, try and find a piece of plastic on this beach."
yeah. And it
And
makes
they couldn't.
no difference to them. Like
No, it's like
uh,
literally. But then there was also great reactions where other people would stand up and come and join in, and then all of a sudden
yeah,
you've
that's
gone from one person to like 20 or 30 or hundreds of people
yeah.
that are interested in being a part of it, or thousands of locals. Like the last show that we did in Java, because we ended up on the front page of 8 of the 10 national newspapers across Indonesia, as well as doing a radio interview. The last show that we did would have had a couple of thousand local people there that showed up, and then they all come down and participated in the beach cleanup. And we would have had, this was before I was actually calculating the exact amounts of data and everything, and the weights that we're actually collecting. But we had probably 20 like big roadside bins full to the brim, like it stomped down of
Wow.
plastic that we'd collected off this one beach. And and that was with upward of 1,000 people that have shown up. And out of those 1,000, maybe only a couple of people actually were there to participate in the beach cleanup. All the rest were kind of there to get photos and just be a part of the music scene, which is cool as well. Like,
Yeah.
but it's just that snowball effect. It's like once a snowflake lands and starts rolling, then others kind of can attach itself.